against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law to look
Wake
this
up!
damn good.
Yep, it's that time again. Vape AM, brought to you by vapers1.com. I'm your host, Anthony Ramella. Guys, get over to the website. Check it out. There's some great new pricing over there. That's all I'm going to talk about the website today, but you got to get over there. If you haven't been on vapers1.com in a little while, they got some great deals over there. All right, guys, good morning. We're going to kind of do things like we normally do every day. Going to do some history, going to do some birthdays, going to do a little, fun stuff, as far as news goes. I'm not going to keep hitting you with all the same stuff that you're seeing everywhere else because there's plenty of information about some of the stuff about the PMTAs out there. I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit this week just because I want to, keep going with all the different things that are along with vaping, even though that seems to be the one thing everybody's talking about right now. All right, guys, so let's do a little history today. This was something I found to be interesting, and it's really not that long ago. In 1984, Vanessa Williams was the first African-American Miss America, which is really cool. But on this day in history in 1984, she actually resigned her position as Miss America because she has posed nude. I think in America, we need to get past some of these ridiculous things like that. I mean, what's the difference between what she did and the actual contest itself? 2 ounces of clothing in the bikini. Come on, seriously. And I think that kind of, shows us where we are with this. There are a lot of people that want to be totally moral and, have all of these, different things that they think that are right. And in this particular situation, I think this was really wrong. I really just don't see any big issue with that. When you talk about body shaming and things like that, I think that's part of this. If that's her decision and she's over the age of consent and she wants to do that, I really don't think we should be taking her title away for something like that. She won this contest fair and square. It wasn't because of that she won, and it's just one of those things in our history that I just, I think is a negative thing. And the reason I bring up a lot of history sometimes, guys, is so that we don't repeat it, because that's the most important thing about looking to the past, is learning from those mistakes and moving on. All right, anyway, let's get on to some birthdays today. There were quite a few today that I found interesting. Daniel Radcliffe's birthday is today. If you don't know who that is, I'm sorry about that. He's a very, very popular actor. I found this interesting. Appetite for Destruction from Guns N' Roses came out this week back in 1988, and Slash's birthday is today. So I thought that was kind of cool. That particular album almost, really changed my life when it came out. I will never forget the day that I heard that for the first time, and I've never seen another album of that stature that had so many hits on it. Normally when you get an album, you get a couple, 2 or 3 good songs, and the rest of the stuff's kind of crap. I could listen to that album all the way through, and I absolutely love it. So happy birthday, Slash. I hope you're having a good day. Marlon Wayans' birthday is today, so I thought that was kind of cool. He's a really, really funny guy. I really enjoy his comedy as well as with him and his brother. So just some fun ones today I thought would be a little bit fun to kind of go through. But you guys definitely have a great birthday today, and I hope you're enjoying it. I couldn't believe Slash is over 50 years old. Man, it really makes me feel old at this point to think about that. But one of the greatest guitarists out there, in my personal opinion, anyway. Ow, man, good God. All right, just feels like my pocket. Golly, it's getting hot. Holy, All right, guys, a little news to talk about today. So here recently, I guess we have another, battery issue with one of these vaporizer things. So on Fox News, there was an article that said, man said vape pen exploded like a rocket and left him with severe leg burns. All right, here we go again. And what I loved about this article is one of the things that was actually in it. Now there's pictures that show the device. It looks like it's probably a mech mod. There's a good chance the battery was probably damaged in some way, and that's what caused this problem. He did say that he felt it starting getting warm, and realistically, either the button had probably been pushed in his pocket. You don't want to leave those things in your pocket unattended, especially if you don't have a good battery. Even the article, the guy writing the article is saying that this is probably more that this person's fault than it is actually a vaping issue. But I'm going to go down to the bottom of the article because there was something on here that I really liked, and I wasn't expecting to see it on here either. The FDA had actually mentioned on here that it was probably because of mishandling the batteries. So it says, recommends the best way to avoid serious injury is to know as much as possible about your device and how to properly handle and charge its batteries. I love that. You know, they went through the whole thing and talking about different people that had issues, like the 17-year-old who's got an idiot for a mom who bought him a mech mod without any training whatsoever. This guy had to actually be talked into going to the hospital to get some skin grafts and stuff put on his leg. And you know what? These things can be dangerous. I'm not saying that they can't be, but if you use them in the way that they're intended to be used and you take proper care of your batteries, these things don't happen. All of these incidents always happen when somebody is misusing the product. And that's not a problem with the product, that's a problem with someone who is actually using it. So today I thought, okay, with that particular one, and I've seen like maybe a half a dozen of these, you know, instances like this, and they've all been the same thing. It's all been problems with someone actually taking proper care of the battery, or putting a battery in their pocket with change and keys without a cover on it. Put the thing in a little Ziploc baggie. I mean, anything like that is going to protect you from having this issue. So I thought I would do a little bit of research and see, okay, one of the things that we talk about a lot of times is that the batteries in these products are similar to the ones that are in cell phones, okay? So I actually decided, I'm like, well, how many cell phone, you know, blow up kind of situations have we seen with this? And I wasn't sure how many I'd find because I don't really remember seeing this really publicized in the media. I'm sure there's been a few of them, but me personally, it took me a little bit of time. Well, it didn't take me any time at all to find, I mean, a massive amount of these situations here. So there's one here that's actually, and I'm going to put all these links down in the description so you guys can look at these individually. One of them off of YouTube, it says South Korean tech giant Samsung has permanently ceased production of its high-end Galaxy Note 7 smartphones after reports of these devices being unsafe and catching fire. So I thought that was bad. That's the Galaxy Note 7, which I guess they just either stopped making or they fixed the problem with it. And then the next article that I found, like right after that on the main page, was the 13 deadliest cell phone explosions. This is just about every company that you could possibly imagine that's had issues with this, including that top of the line company that, you know, a lot of people like, Apple. That has definitely been an issue with them. I'm going to run through the bottom of this so I can actually read that one, because to me that was the most, and I'm telling you, look at these links. You will not believe what you see on this. So it says a passenger's iPhone 4 detonated on board a Sydney flight due to the battery overheating and emitting a large amount of dense smoke on a plane. The anonymous smartphone user had claimed that his Apple handset was getting extremely hot and then started glowing red, alerting the flight attendant immediately, and then applied safety standard procedures to put out the fire. This isn't just on airplanes either. I know some of you probably will think that that is, you know, a pressure issue or something like that. There are 13 on this list from multiple different companies of issues that they've had with this. And we always talk about how using vape products would affect, you know, a growing teen's brain. Like, you know, you're really affecting that issue. I think a cell phone blowing up in your ear would definitely affect your brain. So when I look at situations like this, I always want to go to other areas to see that this is a manufacturing issue with this. This is not the fault of vaping. There are thousands of devices out there. There are also thousands of cell phones out there. But to see that how many more cell phones with the same styles of batteries that are in lots of other things like computers and whatnot have had huge injuries, had huge problems, you know, like blowing people's ears off and stuff like that from using a cell phone. These are very dangerous. And think about those of you out there that have handed this to your kids, like little kids. I mean, you're basically in some situations handing them a ticking time bomb. These are the types of things that I want you to look at. Now, because this has had issues in the past, are we going to make a 21-year-old thing for cell phones? How do you think that would go over? Of course we wouldn't pass that through because there are way too many people that use it and the money would definitely be a huge issue there. But it's just one of those things like that that I like to bring up that's very similar. You know, if vaping products are dangerous for people under the age of 21, I think cell phones are just as dangerous. So I think it's time to ban those for anyone under the age of 21. But just my personal opinion. You know how it is with stuff like that. Didn't have a lot for you guys today. Like I said, I didn't want to revamp some of the old news that we talked about. I may do a little bit more of that later on in the week after things calm down. But if you're really interested to know about the PMTA stuff, watch Jay Hayes, watch Matt from SMM. They've got some great videos out there, very lengthy if you want to get in depth with that stuff. Yes, we do have a 10-month time frame on this, but I'm just kind of waiting to see if there's going to be more things that come out with that, substantial equivalency and all these other things. So there's a lot of information there. I'm not going to get into that today, but I just wanted to kind of talk about these issues because I think we forget that vaping is meant to be a healthier alternative, and it's also a much safer alternative. Most of these devices have safety things built into them. So if you're using a pod style system or even a device like this, if you hold the button down too long, it's going to shut itself off. If there's a problem with the battery, it's not going to allow it to turn on, and it's not going to allow it to charge. And that's what I really like about these items. And they're taking things out of context when they're dealing with just these mech mods and things of that nature. If you know how to use a mech mod, more power to you, but the vast majority of people out there are probably using pod systems or devices with tanks, and realistically, they are as safe as just about anything else you're going to have in your life. All right? I love you guys. I want to see you again. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I promise. We're not going to spend any more time away from you because I know that was a little rough last week, but we do love you guys. You know, here at Vape AM, our goal is always the same. Stop smoking or you're going to die. All right? So have a great rest of the day, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna ride on down to my vapor store. I'm gonna vape till I can't no more. I'm gonna ride on down to my vapor store. I'm gonna vape till I can't no more. I got the feds upon my back, flavor bands attached. The judge is weighing in. I don't think we're gonna win. The Democrats, they forced it. Republicans endorsed it. Now that I'm a vapor, I don't think that I'll support it. Ain't gonna find me smoking. Ain't gonna find me. Ain't gonna find me smoking. Ain't gonna find me. 500,000 deaths a year. The evidence, it seems quite clear. Cigarettes, they are to blame, but the tax money is too insane. My life ain't the Matrix. Morpheus won't save us. Stop smoking or you're gonna die. This is something you just can't deny. Ain't gonna find me smoking. Ain't gonna find me. Ain't gonna find me smoking. Ain't gonna find. Well, I'm gonna ride on down to my vapor store. I'm gonna vape till I can't no more. I'm gonna ride on down to my vapor store. I'm gonna vape till I can't no more. I'm gonna ride on down to my vapor store. I'm gonna vape till I can't no more.